interchange as against 3 interchanges.
You said reminded me. You know, when the president Nana Akufo-Addo cut short for Obetsebi Lamptey circle, I read a tweet of Gabi Ochirdaku in which he said that the president, the MPP, had renegotiated the transaction and was getting value for money. At that time, I didn't avert my mind to it. Bawumia pushed me to go back and look at what we did. I, as Minister for Roads and Highways, moved a motion in Parliament. At that time, Parliament was sitting at the Accra Conference Center for the implementation of the Obetsebi Lamptey Circle project. The rationale was simply this. We had done the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. We had done the Kaswa bridges and interchanges. Now, traffic flow from the Circle Ring Road towards Obetsebi and traffic flow from Kaswa converged at Obetsebi. So Obetsebi Lamptey Circle now became a veritable bottleneck which ought to be removed. That was just the rationale for us to go for a facility to do Obetsebi. So that traffic flow would not be interrupted and that Obetsebi would not become a bottleneck.
So you're not thinking anything in the form of a circle interchange, something simpler that would deal with the traffic flow issues.
Good. So we negotiated with the contractor who did Obetsebi, even the circle interchange.
Okay.
He said he could do it in 2 phases. The first phase was 35 million. 35 million. When we got through a combination
35 million euros.
United States dollars.
US dollars, okay.
Yes. And we got through a combination of buyer's credit from companies in Brazil and a loan from SGSSB. Okay, 35 million. That's the first phase. That's what they're doing now. It was approved by Parliament. The second phase, in the motion that moved in Parliament, I had told Parliament that the second phase of the project will be $63 million. $63 million.
Okay, so 35, 63.
That will bring the total cost of the Obetsebi Lamptey interchange to $98 million. That interchange included the redevelopment of the Kaneshie Market Lorry Terminal, just like we did for Circle.
Okay.
Now, this is the catch. The first phase is still 35 million.
That money is available.
It's still 35 million. That is what they are doing. It's still 35 million.
Okay.
We didn't secure money for the second phase.
Okay.
But we agreed with the contractor that the second phase will be 63 million.
Okay.
The second phase, the MPP went to cabinet for money for the second phase. And you know how much they went for? 87 million euro.
From 63.
For $63 million.
Now it's 87 million euros.
Euro.
That's over $100 million.
That's why Bawumia said that the circle interchange is is 135. It was 98 million. 98 million. $98 million. Now, Gabi tweeted that they have renegotiated and we are getting value for money. Tell me where the value for money is. We negotiated 35 million. And that is what? The first phase has not changed. It's 35 million.
But what are they adding? Do you know?
What are they adding? The scope, they have even removed the Kaneshie Market Lorry Terminal.
They are not redeveloping that, but they are adding.
I've looked at the build-up cost. Over 7 million euro of the 87 million euro will go into general items.
General items. General items, meaning what?
Unrelated to the project.
Oh, okay.
And so Your guess is as good as mine.
General items.
Yes.
Okay. That's an interesting description.
And then MPP, led by Gabi Ochidaku, wants us to believe that their deal has value, is the best. Can you imagine these people? So what has led to an increase of over $37 million over the original project? What has led to that? What accounts for that?
So now we have over $37 million
dollars
added to the project.
The project,
and there's no clarity as to what
is that. So now they say they are getting value for money. I think that this is what we should be asking, and this is what Ghanaians should be asking. So why? Because NDC said they were doing this project, phase 1, phase 2, $98 million. Phase 1, $35 million. Phase 2, $63 million. And the records are there at Parliament. The breakdowns are there. Now the phase 1 and the MPP is still 35 million. But the phase 2 has now metamorphosized into 87 million euro, which Bawumia has converted to $100 million. So what accounts for the increase in the cost when the scope of work has not changed? What I have noticed on the face of it is that general items alone, we didn't have general items. When we were doing it, we didn't think that we should have general items.
I like the general items part.
Yeah,
very interesting.
7 million euro.
7 million euros.
General items.
That alone can do a lot.
Yeah, so if Gavi is listening to you, he should tell us what the general items constitute. And what actually accounts for the increase in cost of the second phase from 63 million euro to 100 million euro.
You've already dismissed the issue of a comparison as propaganda, pure propaganda. I think.
No, I'm even taking project by project too.
So you are doing project, okay?
I'm doing project by project too. I'm not doing. I don't. You think that I'm Bawumia or what? Even a first year student in survey, in quantity survey, will not engage in that level of comparison.
But he's not a quantity surveyor.
So he's an economist. He was advising Zimbabwe. So was he advising Zimbabwe that all interchanges or all roads built in Zimbabwe should be the same cost? Was that the advice? Because the physical condition of the road, the topography, the type of road, the material to be used, and many things go into determining the cost of a project. It's just like this house standing here. If you are building a similar type of house in Tamale, it will definitely cost lower. But it's the same story.
Yeah.
So the location is cost. Circle, is sitting on the bank of River Odo. You know that?
Yeah.
So that place is a what? A marshy area. Circle is a built-up area. So you know the utilities which were there. So you are going to develop a project at utility. At Circle area, you have to do what? Relocate all the what? The utilities that interfere with the project. So you can compare Circle to Pokwasi Interchange, because Pokwasi Interchange, what is there? What is there? So you see, now because it's a marshy area, you have to sink piles in the ground up to the substructure, which is firm enough to be able to hold the superstructure. And I tell you here, 40,000 meters of piles are in the ground in Circle. Convert it, 40 kilometers of piles. But Bawumia doesn't see that. He won't see that. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. That's why Adiomi had told Nana Akufo-Addo that he got it wrong. The toss that you don't see in the ground is 40 kilometers of piles that got to the substructure before you can see. I drove under the bridge today and I said, Well, I don't want to say that. But if God were a human being, he would have punished many people. Drive under just go down, use the ground floor and drive under the bridge. And while driving, look at the architecture and see whether there's any bridge like that in Ghana.
There's no bridge
like that in Ghana. The bridge which will look like that bridge in Ghana is being built by the same company, Keros Gevao, at Obetsebi Lamptey Circle. But Obetsebi Lamptey, they are going to go to sink piles. They are going to do part foundation. Yes, the pillars. Yeah. They just part and put the pillars on it. They're not sinking anything. There's nothing to be sunk. But doesn't it appear curious? Then you say the contractor who built Circle built it at so expensive a cost. You have not subjected him to investigation if you think there was impropriety. And that contractor is building your Obetsebi Lamptey Circle.
And you've gone to negotiate with him for more.
To increase more money. Doesn't it appear curious? It's the same contractor. It's the same contractor. But what is even more funny is that you are comparing your mama's project to your mama. And you're saying that because you are executing it, you are building with a lower cost. It's your mama's project. Motorway. It's your mama's project. Project discussion. Your mama's government submitted a request for grant to the Japanese government in the year 2013.
2013.
2013. And followed it, their timelines, the feasibility, the design, negotiation of the loan, the finalization, the drafting of the loan agreements, the signing of the loan, the implementation of the project. It came to be implemented during their time. The loan was signed during their time. The first 6 months that they were in office, the loan was ready for signature. So the gender minister even signed the loan. We're going to have a gender component. It's a gender minister who signed the loan. We are not saying it, no. NDC has not said anything. We believe that government is a continuum. So the project that we negotiated, that we designed, that everything that we costed, that one that's value for money. And the same thing like Pokwase. The contractors even came to my office, but we had not concluded the feasibility, the design.
Okay.
So we have not reached the timelines where we could open up tenders for. But they came to introduce themselves to me. These contractors who are working on it, that they were interested in following up on the Pokwase interchange.
So you know the contractors who are currently at work?
My brother, I know the course, I know the contract, the design. They didn't do any design. Even Tamale interchange. It's not MPP who designed Tamale interchange. It's not MPP. In fact, Tamale interchange was designed when I was in office. I called it Rivoli interchange. If you
Why?
Because there's no Rivoli. The famous landmark in Tamale was Rivoli. There was a cinema place where we used to go and watch. So in those days there was a jeep, and it was called a jeep gas in Tamale. So the Tamale interchange will take off. The ramp will be around a jeep area. Now just after a jeep where the commercial bank is, and rise and descend around the Central Mosque area. We designed it. And the cost was 35 million. We got a Turkish Exim Bank to give us a facility. They gave us a commercial facility. The IMF conditionalities, we had a limit on the commercial facilities we could take. So we couldn't take a Turkish facility. 35 million, about that. Today, Bawumia again quotes $35,150,000 as the cost of Tamale interchange under the Sano Hydro deal. It's a lie. It's a lie. The Tamale interchange under the revised Sano Hydro EPC contract is $47 million.
$47 million.
$47
Is that the total cost?
No! The $47 million represents 85%
85%
of the EPC contract.
Okay, so the Chinese are taking up
47 million.
Okay, that's 85%. So we have to
85%.
raise 15%.
15%. So the total cost of the terminal interchange will be 47 million plus 15%
Okay.
from government of Ghana. That will tell you the total cost. So Bawumia is totally damn wrong, and it pains him as being dishonest. And he knows that the cost is not 35 million. He knows that the cost is 47 million over, and the 47 million represents even 85% of the EPC contract. But more damning is that because of the agreement they entered into with the Sana Hydro, the 47 million attracts a 15.5 or so percent interest every year.
15.5.
Yes. Interest every year.
15.5% interest.
Interest every year. That's 47 million. So even depending on when we pay off the loan or the better arrangement,
that's significant.
The loan will, I said it in Parliament that all the projects that they were constructing, they were expensive projects. And then Okuto answered me appropriately. He said, yes, they were expensive because we didn't have money to carry them out. If you go and look at the answer.
But did they know that you had a grant with tech? They
know. They didn't want. But you know, you are from Volta region. You know Volovo.
Yes, I know the Volivo Bridge was supposed to have started.
Do you know that I moved a motion in Parliament to pass the loan agreement for the Volivo Bridge?
Yes.
Is it being implemented?
But is the design ready?
But if they don't do the design, how can they? Are you MBB?
But I do not understand the process.
If you don't do the design, you can't get the cost.
Okay.
Before you can get the cost of the project, you must